Okay, hello. This is the last video for tonight. It's 1 o'clock in the morning on the 8th of March. This is the day we're looking at for Madonna to have a ritual death on, to do with a train crash, maybe to do with the Channel Tunnel. Anyway, as I carry on with just going through some number jumps with films that have train crashes in them, I'm on Mission Impossible again. We just did Mission Impossible 1, now we're on Mission Impossible Day of Reckoning. This is the one that has the train crash like Back to the Future. Let me show you it. No, not that one. Okay, this is it right here. Play this for a second, and you'll see what's going on. Here goes the train coming over. I don't really want to play too much because I don't want to get copyright. But that's the train coming over, into the canyon, so to speak, okay? And there it goes. I haven't done a full, I don't even know what the name of that is. I could probably spend a bit more time on this, but to be quite honest, I was like, well, we'll just do some number jumps to see if there's anything interesting with it first, which I was kind of like quietly confident there would be, Anyway, let's go to it now. So in that train crash, there's probably more people than this, but Grace, who is Haley here, and Tom Cruise, who's Ethan, they are both there when they disconnect the carriages before the engine goes over the cliff, so to speak. Okay. So I thought, well, we better look at Grace, and again, we've done Tom Cruise several times, but we've got a new date to look at. So, and actually, what I will do is we will get onto this in just a second as well. But we do need to look at the release date of the film, okay, which is June 19th, 23, and July 12th, 23, and we need to pay special attention to this number here, 163. Now, will I explain something before we get really deep into this, or should we let's just crack on with a few number jumps first, and then as we go through, we're going to come back to the significance of this run time and some of these dates that we'll find out in just a second where they're running out to. Anyway, this is the Rome date, Tom Cruise's birthday, 22266. Remember, gematria for Madonna and train, and something else we're going to look at in here, which is Eli. I'll show you why we get onto that in a minute. I've got this up here, just so you can see. Train 6226 numbers, Madonna 26262 numbers, and Eli is also got a 26 in it. Okay, so that of course is very interesting connection to Madonna. And don't forget also the 7-3, yeah, the L, the start of Eli as well. Okay, let me show you something else here now. This is that same date through to 38. Now we've got 994 showing up. Our Hoover Dam date is 94. Okay, bear that one in mind. What else have I got here? This is the 12th of July release date, the US release date, through to 49 now, and 1002. Check it out. 833 composite, right? Next one. Oh, by the way, you can click off that end date and you can get 1001, the 101. Yeah, remember Hoover Dam, 101, gematria, and the Golden Gate Bridge carries the 101. This is 1001, and again, this is to the day before. These numbers are synchronizing out. Let me just show you this a second as well. 26 pentagonal. Okay, 832. reverse it, 238, Kobe, snatch release day, all kinds of interesting connections you can make there. Also, just bear in mind that, you click on this end date here and just look at this synchronism here as well. The 10:04 on the clock tower, the 4:10, super duper interesting. Okay, what else have I got here? Okay, so if you recall, we did the last Mission Impossible, the train driver on Mission Impossible, the one that goes into the tunnel. He passes out in the train after the helicopter blows up. Anyway, the train driver. They released the film on his birthday, on his 33rd birthday. Okay, so this 33 reference with his birthday now. Let's look at the Rome release through to that. 9889. How the hell do you get that to do that? Okay, Queen's death, yeah, Madonna, the Queen of Pop. Queen Elizabeth's death day, and look at this. That goes to a 668 composite. This is well interesting. That is actually pretty mental that does that. That's absolutely crazy. See that? Anyway, what else we got here? And there is a 168 down in the bottom there as well. This again is, now we're getting on to Haley's birthday here. Okay, so this is the actor, the Grace character. 6/19/23, the Rome release to her birthday, 15051. Pretty nice looking palindromic number. And lo and behold, that is the 173rd triangular. Remember, zenith of the alpha. This converts through to what? Eli, okay, when you just write when that flips around, okay, 173 is Eli, okay, in the perfect sense, okay. Right, what else we got here, Dan? So that we know there's an Eli a pretty good Eli connection then with the release of the film and that actress, okay. So that is a pretty good Eli connection. What have I got coming up next? I don't think this is what I want to go to. This is, oh yeah, this is Eli Manning. Now this is Eli Manning through to today's date, 16500. Now I don't have it in here, but with GoldenEye, okay, GoldenEye the film, I have a decode for that film that involves the train and the tank in that scene is all to do with Madonna and Pierce Brosnan, and I've also got a chart that's also to do with all this stuff as well. Pierce Brosnan's birthday is, he's in the tank and he's going to shoot the train, is the 16th of May. Okay, so this is really important with that whole thing. And actually I've got another number jumping here, which is the next one. This numerology shows up on the side of that train. In fact, it's 745 is what's on the side of the train, and this is Eli Manning's birthday through to that actress, this Haley playing Grace. Okay, so this is really important, and what is even more crazy about this as well is, so these are, yeah, in a different order, but let's just look at those numbers. 88 prime. Well, this is we're gonna segue into Back to the Future in just a minute. And in fact, I probably should show you those trains first. But what else have I got here before we do that? Tom Cruise's birthday through to her birthday, 1031 weeks. Okay. And I'll show you one more thing with her. Her birthday through to 49 is also 44 years, 4 days. Okay, so if you've been watching the channel, you know that 44 is kind of is a mid-balancing point in that table to do with the GoldenEye scene, okay, with the train, okay, so the 44 is right there, and we've had a lot of connections with the 44 to do with the White Wedding as well. Anyway, to cut a long story short, that's pretty darned interesting as well. So let's just segue back from this 1031, which would be 131, back to what this train crash in Mission Impossible looks like, which is this train crash with the 131 train going over the cliff in Back to the Future. Now remember, Madonna's birthday to Christmas is 131 days. Okay, so from essentially Mary to Christ, 131. That's really, for me, that's the most important thing about that number. And that train crash looks a lot like this train crash, which happened on 10/22/1895. But 10/22 is also Christopher Lloyd's birthday, Doc, who happens to be involved with this train crash. Okay, but the 10/22 is also really, really important. Let me show you why 10/22 is so important, and we'll be jumping back to the runtime of the film now. So Eli Manning, okay, Eli Manning. If you've looked at my iPet Goat decode, Eli Manning and Madonna, the Black Madonna with the child there, the Jesus in bandages there, and the Black Madonna, so everything's dead. That decode is to do with Eli Manning, Madonna's Super Bowl halftime show. Eli Manning was the MVP in that, and to cut a long story short, she does some ritual stuff that shows up on the Hoover Dam with the Colne FC goat shone up on the Hoover Dam, which gives us the 163 numerology to do with that whole thing. Well, from Eli Manning's birthday through to 10/22, the train wreck, okay, 2025, this date, was 16363 days. Now, on that day, Madonna was 67 years old, 67 days. The 6-7 reference that's keeps popping up as well. So anyway, this 16363, what is important about this is if you watch my channel, in fact, I've got these charts up here. We'll go to this chart first, and you'll see that here's our 49 day. This is the center of the chart here. Here is the why 44 is so important, and here is 38, today's date. Okay, and then in this row is again Pierce Brosnan's birthday, and we have a bunch of numbers that reference back to the train in here. Yada yada yada. Anyway, in the other chart that I use, let's go to that one real quick. Chart 4. Oh no, I don't want chart 4 yet. Hang on. Chart 4. I just want chart 1. I don't want all that other gubbins in there right this second. But I will put it back in just a second so I can show you something. This is the center of this table. 11 and 18, and the golden ratio is embedded in this whole, between all these numbers in here, pretty much. Anyway, again, to cut a long story short, 18 divided by 11, which is these numbers right here, 18 divided by 11 will equal 1.63, 63 reoccurring. Yeah, these two numbers are going to be reoccurring. So it's 1.6363636363. Okay, that is the approximation there for the golden ratio in relationship to these two numbers. And of course, the further along the line you go and you do this again, you're going to end up getting closer to the golden ratio phi, which is 1.618033, yada yada yada. Okay. So that is why this 163 runtime on this is so important, okay? And to do with, if you're following along with this now, this 1.6363 is to do with Eli Manning through to that particular day, and Madonna is 6767 on that particular day, and Train, Madonna, the same, Eli 26. All these things are tying together to give us, the train wreck, which is Madonna crashing. We've had a stab at this date for quite a long time. Was it going to be 10/22? Was it going well, just all these dates that tie together. We've picked them all as well before for dates to something to happen on. And there's our 10/22 train wreck. Okay, and this has a bunch of references to Madonna with the numbers on it as well. Okay. Anyway, what else do we have here? So this is the release of the film, and it is kind of interesting that we are just one day off of it actually being 713 numerology there as well. But here we go. The release of the film through to 10/22/2025, which is the day when it's 16363 with Eli Manning, 833 days. Okay, so that gives us our, and I don't know if there's anything interesting about 833. That gives us our, not really, reference to 8/3, today's date. Okay, especially interesting with the 33 in there as well. Hopefully people can make sense of that. Okay, 833. This date here, 16363. Yeah, this same date is 833 from the release of the film. We're dealing with this train wreck and this train wreck looking like this train wreck, which happened on 10/22. Okay, and 10/22 is the date that Madonna is synchronizing with Eli Manning. 6/7 is going to be super important. It's going to keep showing up. That song 6/7, doot doot. Not quite toot toot, like a train, but doot doot. Okay. What else? That was it. That's it. Tom's birthday through to Haley's birthday. 1031. It's just absolutely crazy. I mean, to be quite honest, if something don't happen, I'm gonna be shocked because there's just so much stuff for it, and in so many films, it's just absolutely unbelievable. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I think I've done everything that I wanted to talk about. Hopefully that made sense. I was going to show you this as well. So this 1118 stuff here. Okay, let me show you something. Let's go back to that chart 4. So I can just show you the significance. So I've got scribbled in here the 4 row. Okay, it's not normally in the chart, so it's in purple. Just look at 118. Okay, as an abbreviation for this point. Yeah, and you can then see again the cross reference for that is 49. Okay, super duper important. Okay, and that's the date we're looking at for the Hoover Dam. And coincidentally, if you look right here, the 30th of September is the birthday for the Hoover Dam, and that's in the 11/4 range as well, which is just, we're a few days on from 9/10. And don't forget, 4 also 10/04, which would be 4:10, is when the clock tower stops. So these, and then also 4:11 is the CMR 114. So it's absolutely pretty crazy the way some of these numbers work together. Okay, I'm leaving it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will catch you on another one here pretty soon, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go to bed tonight now, and we'll just wait and see tomorrow if anything happens with Madonna. We'll probably be looking into the 9th as well. If something doesn't happen overnight tonight, I'll be looking into Monday morning as well. So anyway, all right, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. All right, cheers, bye bye.